So good morning. We have the first foreign ministers meeting this year in Brussels, and it is very important. We're going to celebrate the second anniversary of the Russian active aggression towards Ukraine this year. And instead of 6 days of special operation, as President Putin calls it, we have 2 years long active war. And it is very important that we understand that Ukrainians are ready to fight for us and instead of us. And we have to find a way to make decisions and deliver them as well. We have to find a way and positive decision for the 50 billion euros that EU should give in Ukraine fund to Ukraine. And also we have promised a year ago 1 million round of ammunition, and deadline is in March. This is one Estonian initiative, and I'm sure that we must find a way out that we deliver and we fulfill these promises with real actions, because Ukraine needs this kind of support and military support. As well, we had 10 days ago the President Zelensky official visit to Estonia, and one topic what we discussed was how can we use the Russian frozen assets. We have the law draft in Estonian parliament, passed already the first reading. This is universal solution for everybody, and everybody's talking about the topic that we must use the Russian frozen assets, but there is no legal solution. And we are trying to find a way out and a solution for that, and it will be a case. And we discussed with President Zelensky and Foreign Minister Kuleba what are the further steps. And I'm happy that the G7 and many other countries are interested about this topic, how to use the frozen assets. This is very practical for a long term as well. And of course, we're talking about the military support for long term. Estonia has put on the table the discussion about the commitment, about the 0.25% of GDP per year military support. Estonia has put, during these 2 years, 1.4% of GDP support to Ukraine. And this 0.25 military support per year for the next years, as a commitment, it can be solid and doable for everybody who wants to support Ukraine. So we would like to find a way out that there will be realistic bilateral promises and commitments as well for a long term. And of course, different decisions for the next steps on the way for Ukraine to join the European Union. So we are going to have many different summits of all different aspects, and it is very important that we are now having the next steps for Ukraine and also for Moldova. So, thank you.
Minister, on the proposal by the High Representative for 20 billion in military aid through the European Peace Facility, that seems to have run into the sand. How damaging is that, and how important is it that you find a solution that involves the peace facility rather than just bilateral aid?
It is very important that we find a way out technically. How can we use the peace facility, because it is the structure we can use and we have been using. And I really do hope that this 20 billion initiative is not going to the sand. We are talking now about maybe yearly support, about 5 billion. It is very important that we have this decision to use peace facility, but also it is important that we find a way at the same time. I'm talking that we are not running out of time. We have to support Ukraine as well bilaterally. So we have different member states who have said that maybe the peace facility technically is not the best solution. I think it is a solution, but at the same time, when we have these discussions, we must weigh bilateral ways out as well to support Ukraine. So this 5 billion, I hope, is under consideration to support using the peace facility, but also the 50 billion. So we have lots of money in Europe. We have to find a way how to give it. We have also a decision about 500 million already from the last year. It is not delivered. So that's my concern, that we are talking a lot, we are making plans, we are fighting about the different structures, but finally we must support Ukraine. And if it's bilateral, it is there. But Ukraine needs this support now.
Minister, concerning the situation in the Middle East, in Gaza, linking the two subjects, the High Representative and some of your colleagues mentioned before that, the EU hesitance in the Middle East, the weakened position, is damaging the credibility of the EU concerning the situation in Ukraine. How you see this issue is affecting EU policy?
The EU position in this sector has been really strong. And this is a question about communication and strategical communication, because EU has been most supportive by funds as well towards the Palestine, different organizations all over the years. And even now we are putting lots in. So we must explain more our common policy, our common positions. And I'm happy that we have this discussion today as well, not only as an EU, but also together with the regional countries. How can we find a way for a long-term peace, two-state solution and any other questions. But it is complicated, of course, and EU must have the common position, and we have it. And we have funds to support, but the situation is complicated, as we understand.
All these funds went into supporting a two-state solution. When we have the government of Israel now refusing publicly this solution.
We have to work with this topic. The conflict has been there already decades, and the solution won't come overnight. But we put our effort in. All our EU countries now today are discussing with our strategical partners in the region as well. How can we find a way out? Because it needs like two sides to find a peace. So thank you. Yeah.
There's a suggestion that perhaps there could be a preparation at this meeting for some sort of consequences for Israel if they don't scale back their arms.
I mean, as a consequences of.
Some sort of idea that there'll be some sort of.
There are different ideas about how to find a peace, and also there must be different so-called middlemen or to find a way, put different plans on the table. So today we are discussing with our strategical partners from the region what can we do all together. So of course we have a political will as a EU. We have made our positions, but the question is how can we solve these questions in real life. So we understand the situation is tensive, but we understand as well that we don't need this conflict be more wider in the region. So let's find a way out.
Standing here and listening to some of the other ministers that have arrived, some of your Baltic colleagues, etc., it appears that you guys in the Baltic states, the countries that are most exposed to Ukraine, are really not particularly interested in talking about this stuff in the Middle East. Would you suggest that you're trying?
This is your opinion. We are talking about the situation. No, we have the clear understanding that any kind of conflicts, it is a danger for us as well. So we are not only talking about as a Russian bordering countries about the Russian war. We understand this Gaza situation there. It harms us all because, be honest, Russia is using this situation as well. So everything is linked. We are very much interested about to find a peaceful solution, but we must understand as well there is no easy solution. So sorry about this. So thank you very much.